Thank you, Dr. Huck, for sharing your notes and your poems with us. Now, I would like to request Professor Kapil Kumar to kindly share his observations over the second session.
Discussion. Please.
that
Yeah, yeah, इसकी है ये.
history should be written
Pulse.
as per the need of the society or nation. Did I listen it right?
Carry on. It's okay. Nani, what did you ask? I didn't get it.
I didn't ask anything. I thought that I listened you saying that history writing should consider a need of the society or nation at any given point in time. Did I listen it right?
Did you listen right that statement you had made? By saying.
No, it's a bit intricate in the sense that what I was saying that national histories, many other histories may also be like that, but national histories definitely are partly imaginary history in the sense that they try to hide some facts and emphasize some other facts. So whatever kind of nationalist histories are written, they are, one can say, partisans histories. So this is what I was trying to say. Not that history should be written like that. In my opinion, history should not be written like that.
I have,
Please.
I have a question to Shashi. Shashi, after your presentation, there were two presentations on Netaji and so on, etc., which basically highlighted one thing, that there can be an experience of the exile which can contribute to the conceptualization of the nation as it develops. I mean, the conceptualization need not be only of like Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, but it could be also of people who have lived abroad as in different capacities as indentured migrants or other kind of people who basically have developed a new life of their own, which might be in contradiction to the demands and needs of the nation and nationalism back home. And yet they basically aspire to define some kind of a nationalism, some kind of a longing for homeland, which basically builds into a kind of nationalism as well. So does that contribute to the conceptualization of nation as, I mean, in your view, would that contribute to the conceptualization of nation as it develops?
Yeah, exile has a particular narrative, there is no doubt about this, in the sense of a narrative of oppression, a narrative of belonging, of a particular past one tries to remember. So it may play a role in the making of a nation, at least contribute, not to this, not centrally so much as, but definitely at the margins, it may play a role in the making of the national narrative, definitely.
Well, I think even this national narrative can be of different perceptions. We have an exile, and we have a lot of NRIs in exile. For them, it is exile only, whether it is their open choice exile, and the first thing they do is they to condemn India. What is India? मैं वापस धूल की सड़कों पे क्यों जाऊं? मैं करप्ट सोसाइटी में क्यों जाऊं? मैं इंडिया में क्यों जाऊं वापस? See, this is one kind of thing.
But they are the mainstream.
That's what I'm coming to that. Okay, that's one stream. And our people, instead of going behind those who actually have carried out the Indian nationalism and Indian nation and Indian culture abroad, we have started worshipping these Bintus and so-called NRIs. And you see it's, your academics is the biggest example of that. In that sense, I have faced this situation in academics. एक प्रोफेसर थे दिल्ली में, अगर हम लोग बैठते थे तीन मूर्ति कैंटीन में और उन्हें पता चल जाए कि दूसरे एक आदमी ने कैम्ब्रिज से पीएचडी की हुई है, तो उनके लिए बाकी चार नॉन एग्जिस्टेंट हो जाते थे. These things do exist. Anyway, I have very small 3-4 observations to make which I wanted. One is Irfan's paper. You see, one is always well versed and all. All I have to say is that he has quoted in his book also the best situations, what we may call unity and all during the revolutionary movement. And mind it, the most crucial aspect is that this unity between the communities, between the religions, which came under the revolutionary movement, was not an artificial unity, was not an imposed unity, was not a unity to show off that they are unifying. It was a mutual respect for each other community. It was an understanding of what they compose as Indians, what they feel about each other, what is the need of the hour, how to fight the British, and that is why that kind of unity, and it remained a lasting unity. And there are reasons that why that kind of stream was then ignored also, shuttled also, because the present day politicians never needed that kind of unity coming out together in that sense. That's at least my view. Shashi, I'll say two things only. Shashi ji, एक तो थोड़ा सा अकबर से पीछे चले जाइए. We have Amir Khusro much more, at least 4 centuries before Akbar. 13th century. मतलब था क्या था वो, छाप तिलक जब थी ऋतु से नैना मिला के, वो composite culture की अगर बात आती है, या if you talk of synthesis, no, political synthesis emerges out of that only. And you see, even during that period, I tell you, Sultanate period also, you have instances very much of synthesis between each other. It is not Akbar only that who started this. Akbar started some other kind of diplomacy and all, but I am pretty sure Irfan is sitting from medieval history.
I see what. So you see the difference between the two is that Amir Khusro, of course, cultural synthesis. If you see music, if you see art, if you see the whole the whole genre of music which he brought into India, of course. Now Akbar is 350 years later than Amir Khusro. The whole politics changes. Now the steps which Akbar takes, which you are probably using, is a political paradigm, political sort of synthesis. Equal state. So, and which is again not Akbar's, which began with Sher Shah Suri to a great extent. And Akbar actually formulated it, took it forward. Because if you look at administration, look at use of all this synthesis of religions, etc., all that began with Sher Shah Suri.
No, you see, my contention here is that the day-to-day life, the day-to-day life, etc., is all there through our cultural interaction with each other. And the moment we bring in the political interaction in it, then you find Reuters situations. Either way. The moment politics intervenes in it. Both of us come from a town, we have seen their communal writing, the same community in harmony, everything and all, and the moment politics comes in. Because any political use of religion, whether it was Akbar using it either way, whether you use it for this way or that way. You see, the problem is, in Indian context, for example, the question of nation comes. There cannot be two definitions of nationalism or nation. That there is one in European context and one in Indian context, the way we have used for secularism. Because secularism means something else in Europe, it means something else in India. If it comes to creating a German nation,
No, secularism do means different things.
you know,
European secularism is absolutely different.
that's what I'm telling you.
Our secularism is very,
They're
very
different, it's made two different things. Here it is tolerance and supporting religions. There it is break of religion from the state.
Secularism in Europe is atheism. It's
That
a
is what
distance from the state.
That's what I'm saying.
Which we didn't do.
कि यहाँ दूसरा मीनिंग लिया. इसी तरीके से नेशन का है कि जर्मन नेशन अगर बननी है तो हाँ साहब कल्चरल यूनिटी थी, डिफरेंट छोटी छोटी स्टेट्स की सब कुछ थी, जर्मन नेशन इज क्रिएटेड. So is the Italian nation, Unification of Italy, unification of Germany we teach. Balkan nationalism is there. So for there these cultural and all these parameters are there for the nation. In Indian context, we will say this is not nation. No, that's why I said in my opening thing.
Germanic idea had been in existence from the Middle Ages. but
That's why
German
what I
nation
said,
was
sir,
created in
कि
late
so
19th
long,
century.
that's why in my opening comments I raised this question, कि since when the idea of India was there, who used the name Indica first? That's why I used this name, this thing right from the beginning. No one answers me on that. When I asked this question, which country Columbus was finding? Columbus didn't say that he was looking for some vague conceptual idea of India. He is not searching some vague region of India. It's a country India that Columbus is looking for.
True, but it was not a nation.
No. देखिए ये
German
देखिए
nation was
देखिए
created
German
in
nation
19th
how
century.
what is the Ashokan parameters then? You see today what they call कि ये हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करते हैं. मुझे बताइए अशोकन एम्पायर की जो बाउंड्रीज है वो आरएसएस वालों ने तय नहीं की, माफ कीजिए, आई एम यूजिंग दैट लैंग्वेज. अशोकन एम्पायर की जो बाउंड्रीज है राइट फ्रॉम अफगानिस्तान टू बर्मा टू साउथ इंडिया, दैट इज द इंडिया.
That is not the India.
No, but you may say that is not the India for you.
No, no, for
Why?
you
Because
also.
you tell me why it is not India.
See,
Why Ashokan Empire is not India? Can someone explain to me? If you accept that for Tibet, China is India, all leftists agree that Tibet is China, they will not question that Tibet is different
don't
from
go into
China.
all that, no.
No, I'm telling you
Let
that.
us keep to the point.
Point.
Is this: German nation was created in late 19th century. It was not created in the medieval times, although the idea of Germany existed since medieval times.
So is what I'm saying India.
Precisely, this is what I'm saying. Idea of India may have
You
existed
are
earlier,
talking two different things.
but
Existence
nation
of
was
India,
created in
nobody
late
can doubt
19th
that.
century.
But nationalism is something else.
Nationalism
Nation
is
feeling is
different.
something else.
Well, anyway,
Italian
it's a
nation
difference
was
of
created in
methodology
late
and all.
19th century.
But this way,
And you are talking of geography. Geography can't be history. That
geography.
is something else.
No. What does a nation consist of? If a nation doesn't consist of geographical boundaries, if it doesn't,
That
it
is
consists of both.
territorial.
Nation consists of three aspects. It consists of geographical boundaries, it consists of people which stay in that, and it also consists the lifestyle and the way of life which the people they are doing.
These boundaries keep changing. Ashokan Empire was reduced to a little this thing a few years later.
Sir, I'm
It
not saying.
expanded again when Akbar
I'm
came.
not saying that. So was the
these-
German.
these-
So was
these keep changing.
so was the Italian.
So
But so was the Balkan. But there we will apply all these. See, the problem is that we fail to accept that we have become subservient to the ideological thought of the West. No, that is the point. That is why nation theory, we are giving the definition of nation from the Western concept. मुझे आप देश की परिभाषा दे दीजिए. मेरी भाषा में तो देश है ना, राज्य है, देश है. जो मैं राष्ट्र है या जो भी है, देश की परिभाषा, मैंने वो पहले एग्जांपल दिया कि यहां से आदमी गांव जाता है, वो कहता है मैं देश जा रहा हूं. देश गांव भी है, देश का मतलब आपका क्षेत्र भी है, देश का मतलब आपकी स्टेट भी है, देश का मतलब आपकी कंट्री भी है. डिफरेंट कॉनोटेशंस में. चलिए, एनीवे, these debates will continue.
multiple identities.
नहीं, मल्टीपल है, पर देखिए एथनिसिटी के फिर जो सवाल आते हैं, when questions are raised, कि इंडियन नहीं है, या कौन इंडियन नहीं है. You see, the question is very straight and simple. The more we dig deep into these kind of questions, I pose one question. Let any historian answer me who talk today. Does the Dalit have no history for 1,000 years in this country? Any research you pick up on Dalit, Shashi, I am telling you, they talk of condition of Dalit in ancient India and they talk of condition of Dalit today. 1,000 of years of history is glossed over. Why? Because political intervention is there.
Good critique.
And it doesn't suit their politics, so they won't bring that in.
That is a different issue.
So that's what I'm talking of today. कि the first job of historian today is, like an unbiased historian, go into the fact and go into the evidence. कल मैं यहाँ वो डिबेट को लाना नहीं चाहता. हरबंस मुखिया साहब का एक मैं फेसबुक पे देख रहा था. वो किसी के राइटअप को लेके कह रहे हैं कि उसने अशोकन एम्पायर की थ्योरी की धज्जी उड़ा दी. तो मैंने पूछा उनसे, मैं कहा आप हिस्टोरियन है, आप कम से कम एविडेंस तो दीजिए. या उसने लिख दिया कुछ, उसको आप कह रहे हैं उसने धज्जी उड़ा दी. Anyway, thanks a lot, and my young colleagues particularly, Sarvarul and Sushil, and Irfan especially, because Irfan took all the time to come, and good that Dr. Chandan can also come, and these are old memories. And of course, Swaraj gave a totally new dimension, and so did Shashi in his presentation. Of course, we all, if we stop debating, then things end. Then that's what we all say. Okay, the debate should be there in those senses. Thank you very much, all of you. We'll close this, and we invite you all for a cup of tea outside, and we finish this seminar. But I'll tell you that we are planning that every second, third month, we'll have a series of such seminars from the Indira Gandhi Center for Freedom Struggle Studies. Thank you very much.